Click on the link if you want to join me and have a chat.